Placenta?
Hello. I'm not the biggest fan of Christmas. I can't stop hissing when I hear Christmas music playing at stores, and it's a problem. This is the time of year where Nick will look at me and say, "What's wrong?" And then my response is always, "Seasonal saddies are for seasonal baddies." In an attempt to make myself a little bit more excited for the holiday season, I thought it might be fun to do sort of a Christmassy holiday dress. I wanted to make a gingerbread dress. Gingerbread dress. If you are someone who tends to ignore the letter R when you speak, gingerbread dress. Gingerbread dress. I'm really inspired by ballet costumes and ballet outfits, and I think a la my book dress, God, you're probably so tired of me talking about that damn thing, trash can dress. Yes, haha, I've made that joke like 4 times.
I'm the trash man.
I think the original concept of that dress that I wanted to try to do was that decorated bodice, sleeves, a really poofy ballet skirt, nutcracker kind of dress. I have a bunch of inspo images swirling around my brain. It's in there, rent-free, and I hate to start charging it rent during the holiday season, but it's about time it stops being a freeloader and gets down on a piece of paper. So with that being said, design phase.
Alright friends, for this design I was thinking of a ruched kind of chest area, and then the gingerbread part would be the waist section. And hear me out, I want to find a way to make it look like there's icing on it, because I want to be a snack. And then a big old poofy ballet skirt, finishing it off with some flouncy sleeves because, duh.
Let's frickin' go. So now that I have the design somewhat solidified, I need to figure out materials, work on a pattern piece, which is gonna be really interesting. For the skirt, at ye old store of thrifted goods, I found these curtains, which I just thought were so delicate and pretty. They just have a really pretty design on them. Then the bottom has cute little scalloping details. Cute, right? I grabbed these to be sort of the overskirt, maybe bustle them up in certain areas. Freaking cute. For the bodice itself, I'm thinking foam. Kind of treating this like gingerbread armor because honestly, I don't really know what else I would use and I'm comfortable with that material. So I'll have like the bodice with the ruched areas, the skirt, and then on top of it, the gingerbread armor ready for battle against the Rat King. Or is it the Mouse King? The Mouse King. Also known as the Rat King in some versions. So I ain't wrong. It is time to make the pattern piece for the bodice. I did happen to realize right before I hit record that I do not have any plastic wrap. I ran out. Not be bothered to go get some at the store. Get a little creative and steal some plastic wrap from things that still haven't been unpacked from when we moved a year ago. That'll do. Thank you so much. Now you see this part I usually do with a helper. Nick is not home right now, so buckle up, cowgirls, cowboys, and cowdays. This ought to be something. Okay. I am going to wrap my torso in plastic wrap, and then I'm going to take duct tape, wrap that tightly around my bodice area, sort of draw on the bodice that I'm thinking of. That way all of the angles and everything match my proportions, and I don't know. This works with armor. I'm not sure this is going to work for this, but highly recommend having someone help you for this. Lovely. Oh, I hate tape. Here goes nothing. I'm a maypole. Brick. Shoot. Originally, I wanted it to, cover this whole area. I guess this is probably fine. Huh? I can't see. Now we have my empty shell, so we can finish patterning this. The lacing to go here. Does not look like much, but let's cut them out. Okay, now that we've got those, I need to do some sleuthing and find a blouse pattern that I know for sure is going to fit me nice and snug and I've probably used before. Yoink! To the fabric stash. Okay, fabric stash, and quickly because it's freaking cold in here. Something white or cream. Let's see. This might be nice for the sleeves. This fabric, which is kind of thicker. Let's give it a go.
Alright, so once I had one of these, I made two so that I could put the gingerbread on the top layer. But first, okay, back to work. So once I got it fitting nice, it was time to do something very silly and mark off where the bubbies go. And then to make the ruched breastis area, I'm not sure if this is how you're supposed to do this, but I made an oval out of fabric, pinned it, and then kind of just pleated it as I saw fit. But after all this, I decided I didn't like how the plain white looked. It just was a little too blocky, so I switched over to that curtain fabric. So I kind of just sewed around the edges and trimmed off all the excess fabric. And I think it worked pretty well.
Okay, so yes, things look a bit silly right now, but I do have faith that this might turn out how I'm picturing it. As 'tis said in the holiday season, come all ye faithful. Something like that. I don't know. And while I strictly only pray to the crafting gods, 'tis time for me to have a little faith. We have a lot to do, and so tomorrow I really got to get down to it. So like I said, it looks a bit silly right now, but these sleeves are going to be gone and replaced with something else. You're not even going to see any of this bodice except for the bubbies. I don't know. So tomorrow I think I'm gonna try to work on the foam bits and the gingerbread bits, and we shall make some progress. So I will see you bright and early tomorrow morning. Toodaloo. Good morning. I don't know what my bangs are doing today, so don't ask. It's giving Dimitri from Anastasia. Today we have a lot of work to do, and it's one of those projects that there's about 10 things that need to be done all at the same time, and so naturally my brain is like, okay, but how about we do none of it? How about that? I am going to force myself to just chip away at it, and we'll see where we get by the end of the day. So, first things first, start on the foam stuff, because if I'm gonna be gluing and letting things dry, I need to get started on that. No, don't bark at him. He's delivering Christmas cheer. How dare you? It's fine. Wow, this room is crooked, huh? Just old house tings. Enough stalling. Let's get to work. I'm not gonna lie to you, this project has me a little nervous. Normally at this point, I have at least some inkling of whether or not it's A, going to work, and 2, going to be done on time. And I have no idea for this project. There are so many things that could go right, and there's so many things that could go wrong. I have all my little gingerbread pieces here. Take a Dremel tool and just round off the edges a little bit to make them look more like cookies. Before we do that, I have a few experiments that I need to do. Take a walk into my laboratory. I just gleeked.
First experiment is seeing if I can use caulking to look like icing. I wanted to see if it would stick to the fabric and what it would dry like.
Hello. We're gonna do a couple experiments here. In order for this to look a little bit more like gingerbread, I am wondering if I can give it some texture. Cookie texture, sort of like those ornaments that your parents bought in the 90s and you wanted to eat them so bad. Forbidden snack. I've got 2 pieces of foam here. My thinking, I could cover them in an adhesive, dip them in something to give them texture, spray paint them brown. I picked up this. I don't think this is gonna work, but we're gonna give it a try. Kids Kinetic Sand, which I did not realize quite how kinetic it would be. It's the weirdest texture, and it's scented. So this is vanilla cupcake, and let me tell you right now, it smells like absolute powdered ass. This stuff is so bizarre, and I hate it. So this might not work, but we're gonna give it a try. I also have some sugar, which is probably a horrible idea and will be very sticky. I'm nothing if not curious and willing to test hypotheses. I've got spray adhesive, and I've got some potential regret building up. Ugh. Just come off. Pinch and pull. Woo! Okay, mazel tov. I don't know. Just. Ooh, it's interesting. It gives it like that layer of texture that I was looking for. But we'll see when it dries if a lot of it comes off or not, because that's kind of the key here, is I don't want to be shedding sand everywhere I go. Not bad. Test number 2. I'm gonna put this Satan sand back in the bag where it belongs. Oh no, this is... Pour some sugar on me. That's what this foam is saying. All right, this also gives it a texture, but it's a bit grainier because it's sugar. This just gives it a little bit more of a cookie texture than that. Chunky? Not so chunky. The kinetic sand might be the way to go, maybe. The fact that it is like moon sand means that it really doesn't shed as much as a sugar or a regular sand probably would. Maybe the spray paint would act as like a sealant, or I could spray a sealant on top of this and then spray paint it. Well, with those experiments done, we shall wait and see. But until then, I am going to Dremel the edges of the foam bits and make them look a little bit more like cookies. Let's go.
This process was definitely trial and error. After the glue was on, I would try to kind of smush that moon sand on there, and it didn't really work. So I kind of learned that I had to do it almost immediately after spraying it. And then I'd have to use the moon sand almost as a makeup sponge. So basically spraying it and then kind of just beating that mug. After that was sufficiently dry, I went over with a gingerbread colored spray paint. And cookies aren't all the same color, so I went around the edges with a darker brown to kind of give it that fresh out of the oven brown edges. And I think it really helped add just a little bit of dimensionality to it.
Hello. Unexpected twist. I decided to take an extra week to work on this project because, well, 4 days was not enough. And I want to make sure I do a good job on this. So week 2, a few days into week 2, because I did not feel like putting any effort whatsoever into my appearance. Spent the last few days plugging away at this, not really talking to the camera. It was kind of nice. And we got some good progress done. So let me fill you in on what I did.
After exhibiting the peak of crafting fashion and putting aside my sorrow that New York Fashion Week has not called me yet, I got to work dressing my mannequin so that things would be a little bit easier for me to plan out and design. And then it was time to tackle the sleeves, so back to my fabric stash I went, in search of a color that would match the gingerbread, and so I found this deconstructed jacket that I absolutely wrecked at one point in time, but saved the scraps, and I'm glad that I did. My favorite way of making sleeves: make a rectangular sleeve band out of your fabric, of course the length that you want it to be, making sure that it's folded over so you can put stuff on the inside like a little taco. And of course in this taco we put only the finest lace, because we are people of elegance. Taking that old table runner, I'm cutting off the 2 edges, cutting that in half, and then pleating and pinning inside of this little taco, making sure to fold up the bottom edge. Once that was done, I folded over the top edge, again like a little taco. Or I suppose it's more like a little enchilada. Well, I don't know. Once I had 2 of these, I decided to hand sew along the edge because I just thought that it would look a lot cuter. And then, because I still had those 2 pieces from the ends, I decided to make the bubby area a little bit more decorative. Then came the daunting task of gluing all of the gingerbread pieces onto the top layer. So working outside, because I would prefer not to assimilate the E6000 into my lungs, I just simply glued and placed. Probably should have done a little bit more eyeing and measuring with this because it's not exactly symmetrical. But hey, that's kind of the tagline of my life, so. And then I just waited a day for this to completely dry. Hello. Just to break up the voiceover slog, I didn't feel like getting dressed today, so this is what you're getting. So currently the bodice is drying. Instead of just putzing around, I figured I might as well get started on the skirt. I do have the base of the skirt there. I cut panels of that curtain fabric the length that I want it. And so what I think I'm gonna do is make a gathered layer like any other kind of skirt. I have 2 panels for that, and then on top of that I have 1 more panel that is this more decorative flowery motif. I'm gonna put that as a second layer. I'll play with like some bustles and start pinning it and draping it. And yeah, just have fun with it. Let's do that. To keep it easy, I basically used the same method I used for the sleeves, but with a piece of ribbon. So I have that gathered base layer, and then I added this decorative stuff on top and kind of played with pulling sections up and making it look a little bit more bustled. When I got that how I liked it, I just folded over the other half of the ribbon and pinned it. I ended up not liking this, so I cut it down the middle and decided to make 2 little Princess Peach puffs on each side of the hips. I also decided to just directly attach these 2 layers. I figured it would make the icing process way easier, and I was not wrong, which I love when that happens.
Welcome back. Yet another experimental part of this project. I am going to try to do the icing, which I'm pretty excited for and very nervous. The results of my experimenting with that caulking on the fabric worked out really well. It's still a tiny bit squishy, but I think that's because the caulking itself is the flexible kind, which I kind of need it to be able to move a little. It stuck to the fabric really well because generally the essence of that is glue. The essence. Hear me out. My idea is to take some of that caulking, squeeze it into giggity, a pastry bag with a tip that looks like cute little cake icing. I guess just directly apply it to the fabric. Hope for the best. It's probably gonna take over a day to dry, so I should probably get started now. And with that, are you ready to experiment? Is this really dumb? Oh yes. Is that gonna stop me? Oh no. And this, Actually, things are rarely that easy. Glob it in there. Blech. Oh no, this is gonna be so messy. Blech. Sure, the noises are really helping. Let's try it. Okay. Oh my goodness. Ah! Cool, 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 cool. Okay. It looks pretty friggin' cute. There are gonna be some weird edges that I will probably have to clean up once all of this is dry. The rest is a problem for tomorrow, Rachel. Today, Rachel is a frickin' baker. All right, let's get to work.
And get to work she did, squeezing the ever-living life out of this pastry bag and slowly realizing that it looked like a butt.
Shoulda had them apple bottom jeans.
I did my best to cover up all those raw fabric edges, but the next day I went in and turned over some of those messy edges just to hide it as best I could. And with that, she is complete and ready for the reveal. Oh, hell yeah.
It is done.
Celebratory swoosh.
Ooh, this was one heck of a project. I am so happy with how it came out. Obviously, there are things that could be tweaked. As with every project, no project is ever going to be perfect. I'll start with the things that I do like. I really like how the texture and the icing came out stinking cool.
Lowe's, if you ever decide to do a project runway sort of thing, I'm your gal.
This worked so friggin' well. It's like a little squishy, so that means it's really flexible and it's not gonna crack or peel off, which is really good. It's kind of satisfyingly squishy. Nice. The texture of the cookie came out so good. You would never know that this is moon sand. It doesn't shed, it's just like a permanent texture on there. I did do a clear coat before I spray painted it, so I wonder if that acted as a sealant or something, but there's no grains at all, which is really surprising and worked way better than I thought it was going to do, which is always nice. I really like the sleeves. I mean, those are pretty simple. I like the curtain fabric, but now we'll get into the nitpicky, what I think could have been a little bit better. Whenever I make any project, I think I struggle a lot to make it flattering. If someone with a 20-inch waist were to wear something like this, I don't think it would add too much bulk to it. This is as tight as it can go. Foam itself is yay thick, and then on each side, so it does add a little bit of circumference to the waist, even though I am wearing a corset underneath this. That's just kind of how it is when working with foam. I think part of that, and again, I'm not sure if it's because I'm wearing a corset, but the chest area is really flat. I might have made this ruching too tight. It has no room to fill out when you put lumps of skin in there, you know what I'm saying? But I am also wearing a corset, which kind of pushes the girls up and not so much out. So I don't know, if I really hoist them up like sails on a pirate ship, it kind of helps, but not really. I think I did make this a little too tight. But now I know. The skirt is fine from the front, but it does not reach all the way around. It'd be fine if I had a white skirt underneath. It's like a shorter, darker skirt that it looks kind of silly. It's fine. Just don't look at my butt. Okay? But yeah, I am so glad that I took another week to work on this. 4 days would not have been enough. In the new year, I am hoping to take a little bit more time to work on projects. I had so much fun, and I'm so proud of this that I don't think if I had rushed it or worked 14 hours in one day to finish it on time, that I would have quite had the fondness I have for it. So it just means a lot to me to be able to take time to work on projects and really put care and attention into it and not half-ass something. We want to full-ass things on this channel. channel. I don't know what it is about making things look like desserts that sparks so much serotonin in my brain, but highly recommend. Making things look like food. Who knew? I hope you guys had fun watching this crazy experimental process. I am not going to do a video next week. I was going to work that week, but it's Nick's birthday next week. We have another family Christmas thing that we have to go to during the week, so it does not leave a lot of time for me to work. Technically, that means I will see you in the new year. I hope you guys have a really good holiday. Stuff your face with delicious snacks. Speaking of snack, this dress makes me feel like one. I am so excited for 2023. I have a lot of things I have planned that I'll sit down and chat about at some point, including Patreon, finally. Thank you all for being here and for another beautiful year. I'm so grateful for each and every single one of you. If you have eyeballs and you're watching this, I'm thankful for you. And I love you whether you're new or old to this channel. If you're new here and you feel like sticking around, feel free to subscribe. I upload most Fridays and we make clothes that look like food. And we also have fun here. And I will see you in my next video. Bye! Thank you. I should probably get better at it because I am planning a Xena cosplay. Okay, all right. Nutcracker. No? Not butt cracker. What? Santa? Like a roosted Bruges area. So kind of feel like a Moulin Rouge Ken dancer, and I'm not mad about it. Na 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 na.